And crisis management expert. Man is at the top of his game. Obi, welcome back to the show, brother. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing? Great to be on.
Good. You make it through the storm last night? Everybody, you got power. You got power, right?
I got power. Oh yeah. No, I only lost it when it was the heat wave we had that first night out up here.
It went out. Yeah, isn't that wild though? Hey. So Obi, what are you expecting from Robert Mueller's testimony tomorrow?
You know, he's an old hand at doing this. He's done this many times before. Mm-hmm. He's going to go in. Members get 5 minutes each. There's two committees. They're going to be hitting them up at some point during the day, one after the other. I don't see how they get a lot of traction, how anybody asks questions with any kind of follow-through, any questions that have, one guy asks 5 minutes and the next member asks 5 minutes and there's any continuity. That's going to be a challenge for any of this, and he should do fine. He's made it very clear, and the White House has made it very clear. He's not going to talk beyond the report. He's not going to talk about the redacted information right now. So I don't know who's read the report. Many people haven't, but when you read it, and there's the blobs of black ink everywhere, it's very, very tough to get through it at times.
Yeah, how do you get? And this is all about impeachment, isn't it?
Part of it is. Part of it is really just laying the case out for why the Democrats don't like this president. Anything they can do to try to muddy the waters and go down their path of messaging that he's a bad guy for whatever reason, and not talk about the economy, not talk about the low unemployment among the minorities, among women, and so forth. They don't want him talking about that. So they'll try to talk about this. The problem is it's already been beaten up so much. There's nothing new. This is the Democrats' last chance of trying to bring this thing up and have it discussed. They talk about Russia collusion, and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And now they're going to try to talk about whatever they can get out of this thing tomorrow and try to see if it has legs.
So, with the power outages that we've had last night and during the heat wave and the electrical grid and the bad condition that all the electrical grid is all throughout the Northeast, especially New York and New Jersey, shouldn't we be concentrating on this? And I said this earlier, Obi. I said that I'm watching Nadler yesterday talking about and Adam Schiff. How pathetic does it look? I mean, you're a professional. When you look at these guys and they're still on the Mueller probe, I mean, this is a derangement. It seems like an obsession and a sickness, no?
It's really a derailment, frankly. I mean, the path of trying to get anything done as far as infrastructure and spending is very tough at this point. And the Democrats do not want to give this president any kind of victory. That's where the problem's coming up right now. They want to stop it every way they can. And frankly, one of the problems we have right now is example in New York City, Con Ed and the mayor pointing fingers saying, we knew we were going to do this, Con Ed says this, and then the mayor says we weren't informed. Now, were they informed? Was the city informed and paid no attention to it?
Yeah.
Or did Con Ed not properly inform everybody we're going to shut down parts of the grid right before sundown and didn't tell the police?
Yeah, it's why. And the mayor goes, he's out of town, running for president, this guy. I'm looking at the traffic. I'm looking at the confusion that is New York. I'm looking at the homeless. This guy, what are these people thinking when they're running for president of the United States? Huh?
How many emergency alerts did you get this week for the weather?
Yeah,
right?
Good point.
They can't do that for we're going to shut down the Con Ed grid at some point.
Yeah.
They can't do that. And here this mayor is running all over the country, or really just Iowa, frankly, right? Trying to get his campaign going, can't get off the ground, is breaking the law with the FEC at this point, so it appears. Spending money from a state account on the federal race, you can't do that.
Whoa, yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right on the money. 747 with Obi Murray. Hey, Obi, so next week is the next round of the presidential debate, speaking of which. Are we in store for another Harris-Biden confrontation?
You've got Harris, Biden, and you've got New Jersey's Cory Booker is on that same stage. That's the second night. The first night you've got Mayor Pete, Sanders, Warren, and O'Rourke. So that'll be pretty interesting. The numbers in this race really are the fundraising numbers, the polling numbers, and every report from no matter who it was, including Mayor de Blasio, their fundraising numbers took an uptick the day after the debate. And for the days following. So especially Harris. Harris jumped up in her polling numbers and her fundraising numbers. So these debates mean something for these guys. Also, it's going to be a big difference between now and September. By the time September comes, a lot of these men and women will not be on the stage. So we'll have to find out where that goes based upon how they handle the debate, their fundraising, and where the polling goes with them. So it's starting to weed out already. They lost one from the previous debate, and they filled it up with somebody else. You've got other people talking about jumping in here. So we'll keep on having Democrats running for president.
But there's nobody. I'm not seeing anybody instinctively. I don't know. What about Tulsi Gabbard? I keep saying Tulsi Gabbard is the one that makes the most sense. She is measured. She seems like she has some presidential timber. I guess maybe it's her military background that I like. She's an active, a major in the military, So maybe Tulsi Gabbard, will she surface at all, or she could just kiss it goodbye?
I don't think anyone has to kiss goodbye per se yet. Right before the debate, she could break out, but I haven't seen anything from the previous debate, from the fundraising or the polling that really shows a lot of movement from her at this point. So the question is going to be, will she get the number of donors she has to get for the next debate, or will she get up in the polling? And as people drop out, polling numbers can increase, but she has to have the money to get her name out there. That's going to be the question.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know where she's going to go with that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know you ran former Congressman Bob Turner's campaign, which he won in a major upset. Apparently, he and Congressman King had dinner at Michael's of Brooklyn the other night. Any reports? Any reports of what went on there? Anything that you could report, sir?
I don't have anything on that, Neil, but they talk all the time. Michael and Congressman King, Bob Turner and Congressman King. Talk quite a bit. They're great friends. They were great friends before the race and afterwards, especially. So I'm sure it was nothing out of the norm for these guys talking, seeing what's going on. Besides, I'm not going to speak out of school if I did know.
Yeah, it's so true. Hey, before we let you go, Obi, about Puerto Rico, you know how the president stepped up and sent the Army Corps of Engineers there, sent billions of dollars there. He was criticized over and over again. Now we see what's happening in Puerto Rico, that the governor, the first lady over there, and all the shenanigans that was apparently going on with all the money going into Puerto Rico. Do we know how that situation is going to end up?
Well, we don't know how it's going to end up short term. Long term, the governor's not seeking re-election, so there'll be a full-blown election next cycle.
Okay.
So we have a new governor coming in at some point, but not yet. He's not resigning like he's being called on to resign by all the Democratic nominees right now, the candidates rather.
Yeah.
They're all jumping in and trying to get him to resign right now. So and they have the protests going on those streets every day.
I know.
Front page of today's New York Post.
O'Brien Murray. Obi, we appreciate you always joining us. Come back soon, my friend, and God bless.
Anytime, Joe. Hey, great.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Obi's a political consultant, strategist, crisis management expert. I love his energy, Frankie. He's great. He's always right on top of it. Right
That's
in your
for
face.
sure.
I love that. That's all we ask on the radio. 7:51 with Joey. Oh, Debbie's back with us. Yay.